Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Highly Contested. How's everybody doing today? Sorry about that. How you doing today, Bruno? How's everything?
Doing good, man. Doing good. A few surprises over the weekend that I'm excited to get into today on today's show. A couple of matches today too. That I'm looking forward to talking about. Especially the NBA, man. Yeah, what a start!
Man.
What a start it was last night. But I'm doing good, man. A little tired, but I'm doing good, man. I'm excited that we're getting started with our episode 3 right now.
Good. Yeah, man. The sports this week were crazy. I mean, we had some crazy injuries in the NBA. A great startup by a couple teams. Champions just got done for another great set of matches. The NFL also is. We have a couple things to discuss about that too. But why don't you go ahead and start kicking us off here to our first segment?
Yeah, so we're going to start with the Champions League. So let's dive right into that. Let's dive into the matches yesterday. Let's start out with the Real Madrid-Tottenham game. Honestly, I was surprised. I was surprised that Tottenham were able to get a result. Credit to them on their part. I honestly thought them going to Real, it was going to be a tough match for them. I honestly thought Real Madrid were going to win. I didn't see Tottenham coming out of that game with any points. So credit to Pochettino, credit to their team. Not only that, man, but Dortmund tied too. So they're in trouble. Dortmund is in trouble because they tied to Applewell. I mean, they tied to nobody. That should have been an easy 3 points. And the fact that they tied and that Tottenham and Real Madrid tie, it's not looking good for Dortmund, which is crazy. I mean, that was probably the group of death, I think, when the groups first came out. So credit to Tottenham. I mean, I think they're going to make it through, and I think it's Real Madrid making it through too. Dortmund just made their lives a little tough with that one.
I mean, technically right now, if you think about it, Real Madrid is in first place with 7 points. Then we have in second place Tottenham with 7, Dortmund with 1, and then Apoel with 1 also. At this point, I just don't see Dortmund coming back. I mean, we're talking about the top 2 teams losing every single game and then having to burn everything. It's just not going to happen.
It's done.
And they're out. Yeah, they're officially out. I mean, 3 games in, they got 1 point. They shot themselves in the foot. I think their aspirations for getting out of this group are pretty much done.
Yep. Then we had the Manchester City against Napoli. I actually watched that game for a little bit. I got to tune into that one. Good match, great match. De Bruyne, man. De Bruyne he is turning into a phenom. I think right now I have no doubts that De Bruyne is the best player in the Premier League right now, especially just his last 2 performances. I mean, top notch. So credit to City. Napoli did make it tough on them. They got back into the game in the second half. Apparently Pep thought Napoli was the best team he's ever faced. I thought that was BS, to be honest with you. It's just I mean, it is what it is. But credit to City, man. They're looking really, really good this year. So I see City topping that group, and Napoli will definitely finish in second. Although right now I see that they're in third, but I don't think that'll hold.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with this one. I would expect Napoli to come back. They're not doing that bad. I mean, they barely lost 2-1 to City in that match. But yeah, I think at this point, City already took that group. Another one that we saw was the Barcelona game today, which saw Barcelona start out winning 1-0 off of a rebound. Horrible goal, regardless.
Own goal, right? I believe.
It was an own goal. Yeah, bad goal. Yeah, it was similar to in another game, which we'll cover in a second here. It has happened something similar, but Barcelona was starting off 1-0 off of a rebound. Piqué gets a red card
for the handball.
for the handball, which I think it was a clear handball. Although I see the intention, but I think he hit it in, even though it was off of a rebound.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
He gets sent off, and then Barcelona became a new team. I mean, they started playing better than they were with him in there. With 10 players, they managed to score 2 more goals. A nice goal in the second, and then the third one was a
Messi
beautiful
had the free kick
just to finish it all off.
And I had told you too, right before he took it, I was like, hey, watch
Yeah,
Messi score this, and sure enough, he did. He's on fire. Messi's another player that's been on fire recently.
Keeper couldn't do anything. He just stared at the ball and tried to throw himself for the picture. That's about it. But yeah, so that one we'll have Barcelona in first place, Juventus in second, Sporting in third, and Olympiacos in fourth, which they're out at this point. I would see also Sporting following the same fate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, today the Sporting match, we needed to get a result in Italy. That was my main concern, and we weren't able to do that. I thought we were complete crap offensively. Defensively, we played a good game, but when you're playing, against these big European giants and you have no offense going and you have to just all you have is defense, you're going to get screwed. And that's what happened. And let's be honest, we got a lucky ass goal today. So I think it's done. I think we're going to the Europa League. I think we'll finish in third. I think we'll definitely beat out Olympiacos. So that group's finished. I think Barca finishes in first, and Juve will finish second with that one.
Yeah. I mean, the next game for Barcelona is going to be Olympiacos. I'm sorry. The next game is going to be Sporting for Barcelona, and then
I believe
Juve has to play Olympiacos, which is another 3 points, which will put him in 9, and you guys will still have 3.
Yeah, because I honestly don't see us, as much as I would like for us to get points out of it, I don't see us beating Barcelona or even tying Barcelona in Spain. Especially the way we've been playing lately, it's been pathetic.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are playing Barcelona. It's not,
I completely understand, but we're also been playing like shit. I mean, that's got to be, it is what it is. You got to come out and say that we've been playing like crap. We haven't been on top of our game, unfortunately, is what it is.
Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and sum up the next groups. We have PSG in first place, Bayern in second, Celtic in third.
You think Bayern could come back and dethrone PSG, or you still?
No, I mean, PSG still hasn't been scored a goal on.
No, I mean,
interesting.
They've been solid, man.
They've scored
they've
12
honestly.
goals. Yep.
I'm not a fan of Neymar, but ever since he's been there, I got to give them credit where credit's due, and they're holding it down. Cavani's been in tremendous form as well.
He's top scorer. Top assister is Neymar. So Neymar has been playing the same role he was playing in Barcelona. He's a great assister. He was being an assister for Suarez and Messi in Barcelona, and he's just doing the same thing.
I actually see Neymar kind of taking his game to another level, sort of say, because he's kind of out of Messi's shadow now. Obviously, it's a big shadow. I thought PSG. I mean, we obviously knew why he wanted to move to PSG was to kind of be the guy.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing in PSG. So credit to him as well.
And then
I want to talk about this group.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's the Chelsea, Roma, and Atletico, because Atletico today.
Yeah.
I don't even know this team. Okay,
man. Maybe we should.
Qarabag, Qarabag, whatever you want to call them. All right, they tied 0-0. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with Atletico this year. I truly don't. I mean, I know over the weekend they did play Barcelona. I believe they tied, right?
They did.
They tied.
I mean, it was a
but that's all they've been doing this season is tying. Yeah. They can't. For whatever reason, they can't get a win.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good for them, because Roma, they were down 2-0 today, I believe, to Chelsea, and they came back to tie at 3-3.
Yeah.
And so now they got a point out. So now that's going to make it extremely difficult for Atletico, because Atletico, today's game was supposed to be an easy 3 points. Easy.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, I mean, if you look at the goals they scored and the goals against too, which still is something to keep in mind, they've only scored 1 goal in 3 games now.
Yeah.
1 goal in 3 games, and they've only been scored 2. It's not like they got killed or anything. They just been scored 2 times, and they scored 1 goal in 3 games.
Yeah.
So the offense really has stepped it up. The midfield really needs to get some plays going. And
I think Atletico just need to bring in some new players in January, because I feel like that transfer ban really screwed them over.
Yeah.
They weren't able to bring in players. I know Diego Costa is going to come in January, so he'll help, but I mean,
I don't
it's
know. Let's
just
hope that it
really not.
changes.
It's
Yeah.
not looking
Yeah.
good for Atletico and Simeone,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Let's talk about the Liverpool one. I believe Sevilla. Let me see here. Yeah, Sevilla lost. Sevilla lost 5-1 to Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I
They
actually
got
had
taught.
I had Sevilla coming out of this group. I believe I had Liverpool first, Sevilla in a second, but
Mm-hmm.
that's another one where Sevilla's making Sevilla's making it tough on themselves because they now sit in
Yeah.
third. Liverpool, I'm pretty sure Liverpool is going to make it through. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean they have a good team offensively. They have a good
Yeah.
team offensively. I don't think Liverpool is as good defensively. I think that's the problem that's been. I feel like that's Liverpool's problem over the last few years is they haven't been able to solidify that defense.
Yeah.
But their offense, I mean, when it's going, it's top notch, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But that defense is abysmal.
Yeah. Now Liverpool has only beat one team in that group, and it's the team in last place.
Yeah,
So let's
Marabar. Yeah,
yeah. So let's keep that in mind too. Liverpool has not beat Spartan Moscow or Sevilla, so that they're all tied. The two teams at the top in that group, they both have 5 points, and they've tied between or amongst themselves pretty much at this point. And so it's making this group very very close to one another. Um,
yeah. So moving on.
Yeah, so the other two groups, I mean, we have Besiktas, Leipzig, Porto, and Monaco. Besiktas has
Yeah,
actually
I'm
run
actually shocked.
away. I
I'm
mean,
actually
Jesus
really
Christ.
shocked that Besiktas is up there.
Yeah,
They're 3 out of 3. They've won all of their games so far.
yeah,
I'm surprised. I actually really thought Porto was gonna
yeah. I
make it out
mean,
of there. I still think they can though. I still think I hope they can because it's great for Portugal when our teams make it to you know the following stage.
yeah, but I mean, think about it. I actually had them up pretty high on this one too. I mean, on the home front, on their league, they're fighting in first place,
Yeah, they're in
right?
first. Porto's in first. Yeah,
Against
absolutely.
Sporting,
Yeah, we're in second right now.
and they come here and they can barely win a game. I mean, they lost 2 games already in that group.
Well, yeah, their defense honestly yesterday was just it was bad.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
bad. It was bad from everything I was seeing from the Porto fans on Twitter. They weren't too happy with their defense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's a tough group because really anyone can still come out of second place in that group.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I think that one's wide open. I definitely think Besiktas will make it.
Yeah, I think they're already through in first
I
place.
want to
At
say
this point, they've already beat
want
everybody.
I want to say Porto will make it, but I don't know. I honestly I don't know, but my money's on Porto to still make it out on second.
Mhm.
Hopefully they do. Like I said, it's me being Portuguese. I think it's great for our
Yeah.
league. We need our rank up higher, definitely. So hopefully they're able to make it through. And the last group, which we actually missed, is the Manchester United group. Manchester United today beat Benfica 1-0. They were playing away. Um, the 17-year-old goalkeeper for Benfica is actually the youngest to ever play in a Champions League match, which I thought is pretty. I mean, I hate Benfica, but I thought it was pretty cool for them to have that.
Yeah.
And apparently, he had a pretty good game, other than the mess up that he had. I mean, he's young. He's young. He's 17. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 17. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
imagine being 17 playing in a Champions League match like that. Kudos to him for even being able to do that in the first
Mhm.
place. I think it's great. Unfortunately, Benfica just have been bad.
Yeah.
They've
I
been
mean,
bad
even
in the league
in the
too.
league, they've been
Yeah.
dreadful
So
at this point. Not to keep on throwing them down, but good God.
I mean, I hope they at least get third so they can go into the Europa League, because I think it would suck if only 2 teams out of the Champions League don't get to anything in European competition. So I'm hoping Benfica can at least finish third, but it's really not looking good for them, man. It truly
They've
isn't.
scored 1 goal now.
Yeah.
Also. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, but yeah, I mean that and then we have Man United, Basel, Moscow. I'm sorry, in that group and Benfica at the end. I personally think that's the Man U has already taken that group. Basel looks to be the same way, even though these teams seem to come out of nowhere. And I honestly don't see Benfica climbing out of that hole at this point. They
No,
look like they're going
no,
the first
not at
ticket
all.
home at this
Not at
point.
all. So I want to move on to the Premier League. The Premier League over the weekend. Um, I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about Manchester City. They won 7-2 against Stoke. I mean, I know it's Stoke, but I mean, Man U went in there. And, oh,
Yeah.
technically, Man U played them away, so it was a little tougher. But I mean, they coughed up points against Stoke, and City just lit them up. I mean, De Bruyne,
Yeah,
Mass,
he
his
was the
passing,
mastermind. He was like a
I mean,
Xavi on the
it was
field.
insane.
Yeah.
He's really taken his game to the next level, man. It's insane. Scoring, assisting. I mean, this guy just has a knack for where his teammates are going to be. Like you can tell that they're
Yeah.
growing that
Yeah.
chemistry, and we're finally starting to see that. The thing is, will they keep it up? Because last year they kind of started out on fire too, and then they kind of
Yeah.
lost it,
Dwindled a little bit the
dwindled
other.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's usually the
So
same.
will it happen again this year? I don't know. I mean, they look really good. I definitely think who the winner of the Premier League is going to be. The trophy is going to come to Manchester. I don't know if it's going to be Manchester United or Manchester City, but one of those two teams are my picks for um, the winners of the EPL.
Um, I would give it to Tottenham or
See, I don't think Tottenham's
Man
ready.
City.
I don't think Tottenham will. No, I just don't think Tottenham have a better team than City or Manchester. I know they're up there; they're in third right now, but I no. I think Tottenham's always inconsistent.
Yeah.
Just when you
Yeah.
think they're gonna pull it through and they're gonna get to the top, they always end up losing points.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's been very hard for them to play at Wembley. They do not have a good history of playing there, and that's where they got to play their home matches now for the season while
Mm-hmm.
their new stadiums being built. I mean, I definitely think Tottenham will finish top four, maybe even third place. Maybe they'll stay at third, but I don't see them winning the league.
Uh, I put them up there. I think if they can keep up at the pace they're going at this point, they have 17. They have 17 points. They're in third place. Honestly, I feel that way about Man United. I don't think they'll be able to keep the pace at this point. I think they'll be um, dropping off uh, out of the table. Again, they haven't shown me enough this season. Yeah, they got 20 points, just haven't lost a game. But at the end of the day, it's they got to prove themselves, and I just don't see them yet. Yeah, they got 20 points, but you know what? If they can keep up the pace, then yeah. But I find them dropping off.
Yeah. And then we had Liverpool against Manchester United that ended in a scoreless 0-0. Mourinho with his genius park the bus tactics, let's not drop any points away from home.
Yeah,
Once again, it worked. It
it's the
worked, but
anti-soccer way, pretty
it
much.
is. It is.
It's not a
It
pretty
is.
game. You don't
It's
want to watch it. You gotta fall asleep. You kind of just pick up your phone and keep up with the score
it
because
gets the job done
there
though.
is no. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it's you get a bittersweet taste because you know at the end of the day you played like shit. You know, and that's why that comes back to haunt you. And I think that's what's going to happen with with Man United.
I want to share a fun stat. I want to share a fun stat with everybody. Jose Mourinho, the second year, no matter what team he's on, the second year he always wins the league. Everywhere he's been so far, the second year they've always won the league.
That's a prediction there.
So that's my prediction. I'm going to go with Manchester United. That was my pick before the whole season started, just based on that stat. I trust the special one, man. He is the special one. It is what it is. Hate on him, hate his tactics, but hey, at the end of the day, he gets the job done. They got a good solid point against Liverpool. I mean, obviously Liverpool should have won that match. They had a lot more chances created, a lot more shots, a lot more possession, and yeah. So that's my take on that. Sorry, on the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any other game you wanted to talk about in that league, or if you want to jump over to La Liga.
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up for the Premier League. I mean, just based on the standings that we have so far, what are we like 8 games into the season? So, I mean, that's where it's standing right now.
Yeah.
The team that is not appearing on the top there, which I will talk about, is Liverpool. Liverpool has these magical 7-0 wins out of nowhere.
They had no defense. I keep trying.
That's
my thing.
That's what it is. It's who
I,
wants
I just don't
That's
understand. I don't understand how Klopp has been there and he hasn't brought any good defensive players to that squad.
Yeah.
Because they have a good attack. When their attack is matching all cylinders, man, they're nasty. But the thing is, they have no defense. They have no defense.
See, the thing is, they're a tying machine. They just tie. That's all they do is tie. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's worse to tie a game then you just fucking lose it. Because at the end of the day, you're tying a game, and that point or those 2 points you lost comes back to haunt you. And maybe if you lose the game, it will kind of, motivate you to come back 10 times harder. But then in your mind, if you tie, you just think, oh, wait, I still haven't lost the game.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, wait. I mean, their matches, they've won 3 games, tied 4, and lost 1. It's like they're always never good enough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Liverpool's Liverpool. I mean, they're
Yeah,
they're
I
they're they're
mean,
always inconsistent.
gee.
It is what it is. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, but that's how I see it. La Liga, we had Barcelona and Atletico tying, and then Real Madrid won, so they gained a little ground on them.
Yeah, 2 points there.
Yeah, so 2 points. I still think it's a long, long season ahead of us.
Ooh, yeah, they were talking about Barcelona being 7 points ahead just last week. And for some reason, they still think that's a thing. Being 17, you can be 12 points ahead at this point. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the season, it comes back to 3, 2, 1 point. Everybody ties. Everybody has a shitty game. Barcelona starts to put a little more pressure on the champions and let's go a little bit in the league. It happens every year, and it's normal. And the same thing is going to be for Real Madrid. They'll have some weird-ass game where they tie, and we're going to be talking about what's happening. Where's Cristiano? And then they'll magically all come together, and we all know how that ends up. So
Yeah, and
I right now I don't buy anything. Right now it's super close, even though it's just 5 points away. They're right there. It's gonna be easy.
it is. And what's crazy, Valencia's actually in second. Valencia's having a pretty good season. I mean, what a turnaround they've had since last year. I mean, they're in relegation battle for most of the season, and now to see them jump up to second place this year, I mean,
Undefeated.
kudos to them.
Undefeated.
Yeah, they're having a great season. Gonzalo Guedes got his first. What a goal he had!
Mm.
It was actually an extraordinary goal. So hats off to Gonzalo Guedes doing his thing. Hopefully he keeps it up, especially since it's a World Cup year. He is on the national team, so I hope Valencia keep doing well, man. I really do.
How do you find Atletico? I mean, they're still undefeated also. 8 games in.
See, Atletico always start out slow. I don't know what it is. I feel like I've actually watched a couple of Atletico games this year, and honestly, they play boring as hell, man. It's boring to watch Atletico, and especially against the smaller teams in Spain, like they don't know how to win. They really don't. I think what's missing for Atletico is that pure striker. I think they're still missing that Diego Costa, I guess you could say, because Griezmann he's not really a striker. You know what I mean? I don't see him as a striker. I see him more as a wing, maybe like a center forward type guy, but not as your main striker. So I think with Diego Costa coming in January, they'll definitely get a boost. So it should make things a lot more interesting. But I mean, I still think the league as a whole, it's going to come down to Real Madrid or Barcelona. I would love to see Cristiano win again, of course, but I mean, Messi's on fire right now. So I honestly don't see Messi slowing down. I mean, the way he's playing right now, it's electrifying. I feel like he's playing with something to prove.
Yeah,
is the way I'm seeing Messi play.
Honestly, I think what I think he's doing is he's trying to prove or say that he's still relevant.
Yeah.
Right. So he's killed it for the national team. He single-handedly carried the team to a World Cup. So enough with saying that he's not doing anything. That conversation's done. And now in Barcelona, it's like days like today. I mean, whether it's an assist, whether it's a goal to finish out a game or close out the game and let everybody relax. The entire season, he's been a goal scoring machine. I mean, I love what I'm seeing from Messi right now, and that's the crazy part. I don't think that the best player of the year is already said and done because we have a few months left, and Messi has a point to prove.
I think it's done. I think he's building for the next campaign, to be honest with you. I think this one's already a wrap. I think Ronaldo gets this one, but I think Messi is definitely looking like the strong. I don't think it's bullshit. Not at all. Look at the season Ronaldo had. Look at the season Ronaldo had in the Champions League. He single-handedly got Real Madrid to the finals. Single-handedly and won them the finals. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I disagree with
that. Look at the stats. Look how many goals he had in the Champions League. Look what he did in Germany. He single-handedly beat Bayern Munich.
Yeah, okay, and Messi single-handedly beats every fucking team because who's the other forward for Barcelona?
But did he do that last year?
But
What happened to Messi last year
of
in the
course, because he's
Champions?
single-handedly doing the entire team.
Okay,
It's a
and so
one-man
was
show.
Ronaldo.
I'm going to tell you
Ronaldo
another
was the
difference.
one-man
I'm
show
going
in
to
the
tell you another
Champions League.
difference
Look at
also.
the stats.
I'm going to tell you another difference too.
You can tell me all the differences you want. At the end of the day,
Of
I know
course.
my truths, and Ronaldo will win Best Player of the Year.
That's fine, of course, because just like FIFA always does, they reopen the bidding for the best player of the year just so that he will stop crying because he's best friends with Real Madrid, and Real Madrid is also best friends with the heads of the FIFA.
Of course, it's
I'm not
not the
making up
fact
the
that he won
stats.
everything
See,
last year
here's the
and
thing.
carried his
It
team through the
doesn't matter.
Champions League and La Liga. Nah, screw all that.
It doesn't
By the
go
way,
to the
he's the
team.
first
It
player to
doesn't
win
go
a
to the team.
back-to-back Champions League.
Absolutely. It doesn't go also. It doesn't go to the team or the player that wins everything. Let me remind you of that.
No, of course, but if you're a
let me-
main
let
reason
me
for that
remind
team
you-
winning,
let
if you're
me-
if
let
you're
me
the main
remind
reason
you
that team
when
wins,
a team wins
it makes sense.
let me remind you that when a team won a champions, okay, when who was it? Bayern Munich won the
You want to bring up
champions.
Ribery? Look at the stats. Ronaldo did a lot more than Ribery did.
Let me finish my point. Who won the champions? Because you didn't say you said he won everything. When Ribery went and won everything, you know what they did? The guy that won everything or the guy that won nothing? Oh, the guy that won nothing.
Right,
There, best player of the year.
But
My point. It doesn't matter.
who had the better Champions League campaign? Cristiano Ronaldo
Apparently, it does not
or
matter.
Frank Ribery? Okay, I think we're just being a little biased now, but fair enough.
I'm not being biased. I'm just not absolutely going to say that one team or one player wins it just out of pity and says, "Oh, I'm going to leave my team because nobody likes me and everybody's talking bad about me." And then what do? It's like a little kid. What do you do when a little kid starts crying? You want to please them, right? So they stop crying, so they give him the little trophy or they give him a little piece of candy.
Right.
That's
but
exactly what
he
that
deserves
is.
it. He deserves it.
Oh, I
and
disagree.
He's going to get it.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that.
I know. It's just the hate. It's the hate.
It's not like I said.
Haters gonna hate.
If you're telling me if it's the players that win things, then you go ahead and take the other trophy out of him and give it to Ribery.
I'm not saying it's the players that win things. I'm saying when that player single-handedly carried them in the Champions League, scoring goals against Atletico, scoring goals against Bayern, scoring goals against Juve at the end of the finals.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Then why didn't Messi do it?
What do you mean? He's already done it 5. Who has more trophies right now? Who has more best player of the year trophies?
Who's got an international trophy?
Who? I'm sorry?
Right now.
Who?
Right now. But let's wait. How many international trophies does Messi have for Argentina right now?
1.
How many finals has he blew? The Olympics doesn't count.
It counts.
The Olympics is U23. No, it's for the U23, U21. It does not count as the principal. No, it does not. Look it up.
It counts.
Nope.
Look it up. It counts. Let me ask you another thing. How many World Cup finals has Cristiano Ronaldo gone to?
Well, of course. Don't compare.
So you can single-handedly carry a team like Real Madrid to the finals when you actually have a defense, when you actually have players, but then you put them with shit like it is in Portugal, and it's like, oh, but look around now.
And Messi doesn't have a team in Barcelona. Messi doesn't have a team in Barcelona.
In Argentina.
Okay, yeah.
In Argentina, you keep on saying that Cristiano Ronaldo.
Argentina had a better team in the last World Cup in Portugal.
No. Who had a better team?
You guys had a better team the last World Cup than Portugal did.
Argentina did?
Yes.
Argentina shit.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Portugal was shit. We couldn't beat the goddamn USA.
I'm sorry. Let's put it this way. Have you checked out the qualifiers this year? I'm sorry, not this year.
But I'm
for
talking
the last
about
4
the
years.
last World Cup.
It's the same thing, man. Look at the
Cup.
stats. Look at the stats. If there's one man scoring 80% of the goals for a team for 8 years running, and he's already broken the record that it took other players their entire careers to do, how are you going to say that it's like that? Let me put it to you this way. If we're talking about titles, then the titles are not on his hand. If we're talking about records, then the records are not on his hand. So what are we talking about? When I'm telling you that Ribery single-handedly won everything, okay, with a shitty-ass team, because we can't even name any...
Bayern wasn't a shitty-ass team. Bayern was a juggernaut. Are you kidding me? That team with Arjen Robben as the prime of his career.
Yeah. And what do they win? What do they win?
They won the Champions League that year.
Exactly. And at the end of the year, what do they get? What awards did they get? Best player of Europe? Best player of the year? You won everything. They had the team. You look at that. You just single-handedly told me that they had the best. They were juggernauts.
Because the two best players on the planet have always been Messi and Ronaldo.
It doesn't matter.
The best player of the year.
Wins.
No, the best player of the year comes down to
wins.
Messi and Ronaldo. That's it. There's no one. It hasn't been anyone for like what the past.
Let me ask you something.
8 years.
Who's the best player in the world
right now?
Right now and right ever. And present times. Let me ask you. Let me
present
put it
time.
Let me put this. There's two different things. Right now is today, And present times is the past 10 years. Let me put it to you that way.
We've already had this discussion. I don't put
It's
Ronaldo
simple.
or Messi above the other. No, I think they're both at the same level. I think
Okay, do you judge players by trophies? Do you judge them by records? Because see, you always say to me,
I judge them. I judge them
hold
both.
on, let me finish my point. You always say to me that Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer going to be inferior to Messi because he's going to win the 5th player Ballon d'Or of the year, and they're
Right,
finally
because
going to be
that's what
tied.
you would tell me. That's
And
what you would tell me. That's what
and
you
that's
would
what
tell
you
me.
tell-
That was
that's
the
not what
point
I
you
would
would try
tell
to.
you.
You would always say, "Oh, but who had the most World Players of the Year awards? Oh, who's got the most trophies? This and that." You would single-handedly tell me
That's
that.
why I'm asking you. How do you define your best player? How do you define your best player? Do you look
It's
at
the
what?
one. It's the one that literally carries the team. We've both seen Real Madrid and we've both seen Barcelona when Messi isn't on it and when Cristiano Ronaldo isn't on it. They're not the same team. They are
course they're
not the same team.
Because when
Why?
it's a team
Because they're
built
both the
around them.
best players. They are
No.
both the best players in the world.
Okay.
You take Ronaldo out
matter-
of Real Madrid, they would have never won the Champions League last year. They would have never won the Champions League last year.
Well, nobody's debating that because it's a team built around them. But let me put it to you this way.
Yes, it is
when
the
you
team
look
built
at
around them, but
Barcelona, when you look at Barcelona and you look at the amount of goals they've been scored on, okay? Then you find the difference between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid actually has a team. If you look at their defense, you're like, God damn, they got a solid fucking D. When you look at Barcelona, you find Jordi Alba, you find PK, and then you look at the midfield and you're like,
they love PK, dude. PK's like their Puyol, dude.
Who are you? Who are you? I mean, who are these people? No fucking shit. You have a one-man show. You have Suarez out there who hasn't scored a fucking goal in God knows how long. That motherfucker.
Yeah, he missed a couple
easy chances. It's a missing machine. He's looking like Higuain out there. It's fucking dreadful. That's why I'm making the point that how can you say that a player that is clearly carrying it by himself, because you don't see a Marcelo coming and making a play in Barcelona. There is no Marcelo. There is no what's his name? Sergio. What's the defender for Real Madrid?
Oh, Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. There is no. Those players don't exist in Barcelona.
They
don't
have Nelson
exist.
Semedo. Play the man. The right back. He's a promising player. Play Nelson Semedo. Stop playing these shitty Sergio Robertos.
You know
Nelson
Semedo. No, you know who was it? Paulinho.
Yeah, that was stupid. I don't rate Paulinho. He was playing in China before, and now all of a sudden he's a world-class midfielder, even though he couldn't even cut it at Tottenham.
Paulinho is the definition of everything that is wrong with this Barcelona team and why they will continue to lose every single finals or Champions or league ever. Because he's the definition of what is wrong with this fucking team, bringing that fucking trash. But that's what it is.
But apparently Messi wanted to bring Paulinho, supposedly. That's what I heard.
Yeah, so they probably told Messi, hey, Messi, do you want to take a day off? Sure, all right, we'll bring you Paulinho. Messi's like, fuck yeah, finally I get one day off, and that's what you bring it. Fuck it, bring something. Let's see what he does.
If that's who Messi wanted to bring. Messi got his wish, and there you go. It is what it is.
Messi wanted to bring it. Yeah, they said Messi was going to go to PSG because Messi said, yeah, that was also true.
Actually, right? City. That's always the rumor year in year
now
out.
it's City. Yeah, of course.
No, City's been like
PSG. They were supposed to pay $240 million, and Barcelona said, "Go fuck yourself." So yeah, it's what happens every single time, and every single year it turns out to be lies. And Messi never said anything, and he has to come out in public and say every single year, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to retire in this team." But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, that was awesome. That got me heated up. So. Let's move on. This is fun, man. Let's start with football. I want to start with this one. I want to start with the Dolphins. Okay, stop. Before you even say anything, let me talk. Give me the mic.
Fine.
You know, I
think about what you're going to say. That's it.
Okay. I thought I'd be happy. Or I thought I'd have a happier feeling than I had after we beat the Falcons, okay? Because the last podcast, I was saying they were going to put 40 points on us and they were going to kill us and this and that. And, man, the Dolphins, they always find a way to make me look bad every single time. Either I pick them to win and they make me look bad, or I pick them to lose bad and they come out of nowhere and decide, hey, we know how to play football again. It was ridiculous. They scored 20 unanswered points, 20 points straight to stop the Falcons. I think finally Jay Ajayi was the running game was on. Our defense played superb. We got the rookie cornerback. I forget what his name is, but he's looking real good. It was actually because of him we were able to seal the victory at the end, and Rashad Jones was able to pick it off because the rookie got his hand on the ball. Jay Cutler, he's still mediocre. I still don't believe in him. I still think we should put Matt Moore. Cutler's Cutler. But I honestly was shocked. And the reason, let me tell you the reason why I wasn't as happy as I should have been. It's because I've been through this before, man. Where it's like, oh man, look at this, man. The Dolphins beat the Falcons, man. They're a good team. Like, oh man, you guys are on the rise now. It's the come up, and here comes Miami. And then I get behind, and I'm like, yeah. I'm starting to feel everybody. I'm like, fuck yeah, like this is it, man. And then we lose to the Jets or like some random ass team. And guess who we play next weekend? We play the Jets. I'm scared as hell
at home
because I want to be happy. I want to be happy because if we win, we could be 4-2. And just a fun stat for the Dolphins. This is how bad we've been, man. We have never won 4 out of our first 6 games in 14 years.
Wow.
14 years. That's how bad my football team is.
What were you doing 14 years ago?
So, I mean, kudos to the team for doing their thing. Adam Gase, the first half, we need to stop with these first half. We start out so damn slow, so damn poor. And in the second half, it's like, oh, we know how to play football again. And credit to Adam Gase. He must have gave a hell of a halftime talk. He made some better play calls. Honestly, I was shocked. I'm not as happy as I thought I'd be. But now it comes down to the Jets game, because if we lose to the Jets, then who the hell cares that we beat the Falcons? You know what I mean? So we got to beat the Jets 4-2. Okay, fine. I'll start taking you guys a little bit more seriously. But if you come out and lose to the Jets, then screw it, man. We suck. So we got to beat the Jets. It's the damn Jets. So that's my take.
And no, like I said, I always pick you on this one because, or pick on you on this one just because the Dolphins seem to have these fluke games where they beat the top team and then they have to play the fucking Jets. And
Jets.
Yeah, and then they get shut out. You know, they go to play to England, they look like an embarrassment. They need to go play at home, a home opener, they get drilled in the asshole. So this game, I don't even know what to tell you about it. They had 17 unanswered points, and then it looked like the replay from the Super Bowl over again. You know, Matty Ice just took a nap for 2 quarters pretty much. And
well, I think our defense definitely played a huge part, though. I mean, they did their thing. We stopped the running game, and we did our thing. And our secondary, as bad as I think it is, they stepped up big time. And the Falcons have they're an offensive juggernaut. So credit to Miami's D. That's all I got for that game. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
To which game?
The Dolphins and the Falcons.
I just think it was a fluke. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out. We're gonna find out because right now I think it's a fluke as well.
Yeah, if you guys end 14-2, then clearly it wasn't a fluke. But yeah. I just don't think that's gonna happen. You guys actually have a very challenging, and we discussed that last week, I believe. You guys have a very challenging schedule
coming up. Yeah, so, although I think after the Jets, I think we play Baltimore. They just lost to Chicago. My God, but
you guys lost to the Jets.
Yeah, my God. I mean, it is what it is.
Put them in the balance.
It's mediocre. It's going to be the battle of the mediocre.
I'll tell you what. I would see you guys beating the Seahawks rather than beating Baltimore.
It's probably going to be the best quarterback matchup. We have a star in Joe Flacco going against a star in Jay Cutler. I mean, what a matchup that's going to be. Exciting for us fans. But anywho, I want to move on to the Eagles game. And the reason why I want to move on to the Eagles game is because I believe I predicted that the Eagles were going to beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
And why was that? Because I didn't trust Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton did not look good. I know his receivers did drop passes. Okay, so it wasn't all on Cam, but Cam was Cam. When it counts, he turns the ball over, man. It is what it is. There were a couple of balls that he threw straight to the ground, overthrown. I mean, I just don't trust Cam Newton. And the Eagles, man, you guys are looking really, really good. You guys are number 1 in the NFC.
We are number 1 in the NFC. I saw a Wentz that was slinging balls across the field. looking beautiful. 3 touchdowns, over 200 passing yards, no interceptions, no fumbles, nothing like that. He looked great. He felt comfortable. I feel like he's getting the feel of the team and of the game, and he's in a rhythm. And I hope that rhythm stays. We actually don't have hard games coming up. We're just playing the Redskins next week. I just hope we teach him a lesson again and finally get him to shut up. Well, we beat you 5 times in a row. Yeah, and then we've been beating you for years, son. Yes. So, and then on the Carolina side, I saw a frustrated quarterback.
Yeah.
I saw a Cam that was throwing balls left and right, great passes, and the receivers, it looked like intentional at one point. I was like, they must be doing it on purpose. Like they want to fuck him. Is this like some sort of movement, right? Is it because he's black? I don't even know. I don't know what the hell it was. But I saw 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. He actually had more yards than Wentz. So it was funny because they were moving. Given the Eagles had 125 penalty yards, which is the highest in how many years?
I believe it was something crazy like that.
In like 7 seasons, 120 yards, and the refs were having some shitty calls. I know there was some pass interference calls that gave him like 31 yards just out of one play right then and there. That actually got him to a touchdown, which was the Superman touchdown by Cam. Which I thought it kind of looked like he was out, but he made it.
No,
he got through. He got through.
Yeah, give credit to Cam. I mean, that was a beast play. It looked like Michael Vick when he had done that for the Falcons against the Panthers. When he was in Atlanta and he had the identical Superman dive like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough. And that Eagles defense, they're good, man. As I said, I think the Eagles defense is going to keep getting better throughout the year. So,
yeah. One of our followers was saying Camp Newton is the Messi of Argentina, or I'm guessing he means the Messi of the NFL.
Not at all.
If he's not having a good game,
you know who's the
Panthers
Messi of the NFL?
lose. Well,
Aaron
course,
Rodgers.
in that,
Aaron Rodgers is the Messi of the NFL, if that's what you want to say. It's Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are done. The man broke his collarbone. Is so sad. But the Packers are screwed.
It's the same way for every team. It's the fucking quarterback.
Yeah, the top quarterback goes down. No, it's true. I just think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league.
The guy that what's his name? He's been slinging balls.
Oh, Deshaun Watson for the Texans.
Yeah, Watson. Yeah. He's been having a great game. All of a sudden, they're playing great. I mean, it's always the same way. No, it's kind of obvious that the quarterback is one of the main influences. Even in the running game, he has a big part, whether it's audibles and whatever the hell it may be that he's calling on the field. I know that Cam sometimes doesn't pass the ball and keeps it himself whenever he sees a running opportunity. So those are all things that the quarterbacks play into a big role into the offense.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you don't have a top quarterback, you're basically the Miami Dolphins. I'll just leave it at that. You're mediocre. I mean, you need a good quarterback, and if you don't have a good quarterback, you need like the number 1 defense in the NFL. From what we've seen over the past few years. So now I want to. I don't know if you have anything more else to add, but I actually wanted to get into our power rankings.
No. Just to end off with the Eagles here. I see them up there. I see an easy record or an easy schedule coming up. We might be able to go into our bye being 8-1. What?
8-1.
What? 8-1. I mean, look, if Aaron Rodgers just dropped and he doesn't come back, that was our biggest enemy right here.
Well, no, I think Seattle still. You can't count Seattle.
I'm going to tell you why.
You can't count Seattle out.
Because Seattle is 3-2 right now, I think. And they always show. I mean, look, the man can't do it by himself, right? I mean, and that's another thing. If you look at Seattle, it's just quarterback. That's all it is. It's just
I mean, their defense hasn't been playing up to the level that they should be. So maybe that'll gradually get better too as the season goes on. Because if that Seahawks defense gets back to playing the way it is, I mean, they're a formidable team, and at least in my opinion.
So I have in the NFC, I see us looking pretty.
So
I see us
give me your top 5 teams right now. I want to get into the power rankings because do you still want to agree that the Chiefs are number 1? I know they lost to the Steelers, but they're 5-1. To me, they're still the number one team in my eyes. I still have the Chiefs.
I'll still put them up there just because they beat the Eagles. So
Yeah,
just fair enough.
and
If they
because-
would have beat another team and we would have lost to the goddamn Browns, I would have said, okay, I put the
Yeah.
Eagles there. They had a bad game, call it a day. But since they beat us, then just by numbers, fair enough. Put them up there number one. But number two, it's an easy second.
Yeah, the Eagles.
I think
they're the best team in the
easy.
NFC right now,
Right.
hands
Yeah,
down.
that's why.
I
So they're
mean,
the best in the AFC. We're the best in the NFC right now.
And number three, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers just because they did beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But the thing with Pittsburgh is they kind of been inconsistent throughout the year. I think they're finally getting back on track, man. I mean, they're an offensive juggernaut too.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, probably
Le'Veon
the
Bell
best,
had
if
the freaking
top three best
craziest game
receiver
last
in the
week.
league.
Good God.
Yeah, I mean Le'Veon, he went off.
Yeah,
So I
that
think
jewel.
I think the Steelers are looking good.
Yeah.
Actually, they were one of my Super Bowl picks, so I'm glad they're finally starting to pick things up.
Yeah.
But it all comes on Roethlisberger too, because if Roethlisberger's throwing 5 interceptions, not in this past game, but the game prior to this one, then
we were
they're
kind of
not-
ting,
yeah.
like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah,
Like, he
is it
looked
time to
like-
retire?
Yeah. I actually put in third place. I put New England.
Yeah, I have the Patriots 4.
Yeah.
I have the
I
Patriots
put
4.
New England in third.
I put the Patriots 4. They got a little help from the refs over the weekend against the Jets. I'm not saying that the Jets would have won by any means, but just the fact that they had to get help from the refs, get a touchdown called back from the Jets,
Yeah.
I thought was pretty pathetic. Plus, the Patriots defense has been abysmal. It's been terrible.
Yeah, but that's what I put them up there because they always get a little help.
Yeah, but
And that's the thing. They get help every game. It's this game. It's the last game. I mean, this game was just highway robbery. It was so bad. I felt so bad for the Jets because it looks like they're finally doing something.
No, they're not. man.
Shut
The
up.
Jets are
You're
mediocre.
biased.
I'm
Look,
not
if
biased.
they
The Jets
would've-
are mediocre.
Oh my God.
I can't. What did you say? The Jets? What you said? The Jets are on the rise or something? Is that
No.
what you just said?
They're finally building something.
They're not
they're
building
finally,
anything.
They're finally winning games. They beat
I'll
you
remember-
guys. They were going to
They
have.
did. They
would
beat
have
us. No,
had
for
2
sure.
divisional games already. They would have been in first place. Let me tell you, if they would have won, they would have been in first place in that division.
Dude, the Jets.
Think about that.
I know, I understand, but there's a reason that the Jets are the Jets. And I'll remember this comment at the end of the season, and we'll look back at the Jets record, and
They
I'll be
already
like,
got
"I
screwed
told you
one.
so."
They already got screwed
Yeah, but
one.
They would have still been losing even with that touchdown if it didn't
Yeah,
call.
but it's a
didn't get
morale
called
that
back.
you. I mean,
I
that's
know
what I'm saying.
it was
It's
the
7
momentum
point
of the game. It
difference.
swings.
Yes,
I know. I
exactly.
get all that, but to say that the Jets would have fully came back and won, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I think the Patriots still would have handled business regardless if that call wouldn't have been called back.
No.
wouldn't have made a
I mean,
difference.
look, what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of like the 49ers. The 49ers keep on losing every single game by 1, by 2, by 3.
Yeah, I was
by
surprised
4,
that Redskins
by
game was a
5.
lot closer than it was.
Yes. Oh my
Than
God.
it should have been, rather.
Oh my God. They were so close every single time. I was cheering them on, but it just wasn't enough. All I wanted to see was the Redskins losing. And unfortunately, I didn't get that lucky. But yeah, so to round out my top 5 here, I have
So yeah,
Pittsburgh,
the Patriots
I have
at 3, Pittsburgh at 4. So that's our
Pittsburgh at-
difference. And who's your last pick? Because I have a surprise. I have the Rams.
oh.
I have the Rams at
Mm.
5. I
See,
think
I'm gonna put Seattle at 5.
Seattle.
I'm gonna put Seattle at
No,
5.
it's a good pick. But
Look, I've
St.
always
Louis
said it.
is-
I've always liked the Rams because they have.
this is probably like my only week I can put
but-
the Rams in my power ranking. I think I'm cheering for them. Todd Gurley is a beast of a running back. Jared Goff, he was looking like a bust, but ever since Sean McVay came from the Washington Redskins, they hired him. He was the offensive coordinator for the Redskins last year, and he did a phenomenal job for them. And the guy's 30 years old, 31 years old, the youngest NFL coach in the league. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I mean, he's an offensive guru from everything that I've seen so far from the Rams. So I'm going to put the Rams at 5. It'll probably change next week.
Yeah.
But because I have a chance to put the Rams there, I'm going to show the Rams some love, and I have you guys as my. Plus, their defense is really, really good as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't get talked
Yeah.
about as much,
Yeah.
but St. Louis has a top notch defense. So credit to St. Louis. I hope they keep it going. Well, now they're in LA, or they haven't moved to LA. I don't even know. The LA Rams,
Yeah.
whatever. But that's my number 5.
Got it.
And you have Seattle. I mean, I
Yeah,
could put Seattle
up
there
just
too,
because,
but
again,
because St.
the
Louis is
competition
4-2, I know Seattle 3-2 right now.
3-2. Yeah, they're about
so
to. Yeah. So yeah, I put him there, and now I drop off completely out of the top 5 Green Bay because it's just, I don't even know. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a shit show in there.
without
I don't know
Aaron
what's gonna happen. But the
Rodgers, I think the
coach,
Lions could take that division now.
yeah, the coach for Green Bay said that he's been working with his backup quarterbacks for 3 years with one of them and 2 years with the other. So he said there is no consideration, even though there's a petition by fans to bring um,
Kaepernick,
Kaepernick.
yeah.
He's already said no because he has 2 quarterbacks that he's been working with for years. So that's already out of the question, even though the fans want him. But yeah, moving on.
Yeah, so give me your biggest surprise from the NFL this past weekend. What's your biggest surprise and your biggest disappointment?
My biggest surprise was seeing the Dolphins win.
No, yeah, hands down. We were losing 17-0. I was like,
Look,
this is it.
even though I did not
Throw in
expect
the
it to be a
towel.
40-point game or whatever, because that's just what you guys do. You guys have these crazy games. But that was a surprise. I mean, that came out of nowhere. Was it a surprise that we beat the Panthers? Yes, I actually had the Eagles losing against the Panthers. It was a close ass game. Yeah, we gave him 120 free yards. Yeah, he had three. Cam Newton had 3 interceptions. Yeah, it looked like he at one point it was just slinging balls just to get intercepted. It was hilarious. We were just waiting to see when the next mistake was. So those were my surprises there for this week. How about you?
I agree with you with the Dolphins. My biggest disappointment, I think my biggest disappointment would have to be the Baltimore Ravens losing out to the Chicago Bears, to the rookie quarterback. They just look so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Baltimore.
I don't know. After that game, they went to England. They've I don't know what happened over there.
Yeah, ever since that England game,
what did the Queen do? Fudge.
I don't know.
Oh
I
my
think it's
God.
Flacco, man. I mean, honestly, I used to think Flacco was a good quarterback, but he's been sucking. He
Let me-
really has.
Let me ask you something.
Mm.
Do you think it's time?
For a quarterback change in Baltimore?
Yeah,
You know why I think people are going to be hesitant to say it is?
because he won a ring.
Because he won a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard for Baltimore to let
But
him
in
go.
my eyes, I think it's time for Baltimore to move forward from Flacco. And I
Yeah,
know
well,
it's going to be painful for a lot of Ravens fans
It's
to
fair to say
sink
that the
down
defense won that Super Bowl. Would you say?
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Flacco,
Defenses
I'll tell you
win
what, though.
Super
No.
Bowls.
I mean, Flacco does deserve credit, though, because in that playoff run, he didn't throw a single interception. I mean, he was sharp, but definitely, I mean, the defense, I mean, that's what Baltimore's known for is their defense. It's
Yeah.
always been known for their
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
But, I mean, Flacco did his thing, and that's when he got the big contract. But
After he got the money, he's like, all right, well,
after he got the money,
I did
man,
it. I did it, Mom.
Yeah, it was just kind of never the same for him, man. And just the interceptions he throws, it's like, what were you thinking? Like, what's going on? So that was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Yeah. For biggest disappointment, I don't know if it's more disappointment or if I'm disappointed that they didn't win, but I thought that the 49ers were going to come back in that game. So I was very disappointed to see the Redskins win.
Just by 2? What was it, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
2
It was a close game, but I was super disappointed just because I wanted the Redskins to lose. So yeah, that's that. Moving on.
Let's talk NBA, man.
Let's kill it. All right.
I was able to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Boston Celtics. Man, I was fired up. I was ready to go. I was expecting a hell of a game. It was a hell of a game. It was amazing. But obviously, you know, the first quarter, Gordon Hayward going down. I was watching it live. Man. And just the way that he felt.
Picture that's going viral.
Yeah, no. But just watching it live, and when he went down, the Cleveland bench just got up and they were like, you know, you could tell what they were saying, like, oh my God, holy crap. And then when the camera zoomed into like his leg and his foot,
people were saying, his shoes just off.
Yeah,
and then the Cavaliers were turning around, cover. I know, I saw the video replay of that. And the Cavaliers were like covering their eyes, turning around and like saying, oh no. And like the guy was just staring at his foot like, ah.
No, it was definitely
horrible.
It was horrible, man.
Bad.
And what sucks, man, what really sucks is all that time that he put in the offseason, because Boston,
and you have been talking about him too, about Hayward.
I love Hayward's game. I wanted him to go to Miami, but he ended up going to Boston. But it just sucks that in 6 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, he's out for the season.
That's it. The
I mean,
very first
it's
game.
just so sad. I don't know if you saw Kobe's message. Kobe wrote like a big message. I don't know if it was through
No, what
Twitter
did
or
I say?
Instagram, but I got to see it. Um, uh, it basically just telling him, to heal up, to keep fighting, just things like that. But if you haven't seen that message, I definitely recommend going to see it. I
Yeah,
thought it
no,
was a
as a
huge,
player, yeah,
huge,
yeah,
like
that
coming
that
from
must
Kobe.
suck.
I thought it was great coming from one of the greats.
Yeah,
Um,
as a player, knowing that you just train for months
yeah, all the
to
off
play
season.
six
Yeah,
minutes and be done for the
it's
season,
heartbreaking.
no, yeah, it's a shocker.
Like,
So
I'm
I'm
not
sure he
even a
must be
Celtics
devastated.
fan,
Yeah,
and I was depressed.
yeah, I know, I
I'm
know.
not
And
like,
the main thing is because that was those were the two teams that we kept on saying,
yeah,
that's what we're gonna be looking at. We
that
wanted
that
them
was,
stacked. We wanted both
yeah,
of them to have their best teams just to see what they were gonna come up to be. And right now it's, again, now the Celtics are missing Hayward. Cleveland is missing Isaiah. So now, I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know if we're gonna get to see them.
I think it's a bigger loss for Boston losing Hayward than it is for Cleveland losing Isaiah, just because Cleveland has LeBron James. Okay, so now the Kyrie's gonna have to step it up even more, man.
He
Like
wanted a one man show.
he's
He's
gonna
gonna
have
have
to
to prove
play
it.
like a Russell Westbrook more. You know what I mean? Not just
Yeah.
get. He's gonna have to average like 28, 29 a night plus like 10 assists. I really
Here's the
do.
thing. I don't think he's Westbrook. I definitely think
No,
Westbrook
no.
was able to do
Yeah.
it game after game, having 33, or how many did he end up having? 35. How many triple doubles did he have?
Honestly, it
35.
was like
I lost.
40.
Was it
Was
really?
it
Did it
over?
get
I
that
don't know.
high?
I think
I don't even know. I honestly lost count. I
60.
was
God
keeping.
knows. I mean,
The man
it
had
felt like
like,
he had a triple
yeah,
double every night.
I don't know if it was like 32 or 42, somewhere
Yeah.
around there. But I don't think
Um,
Kyrie can do that. I just don't.
but give credit to Boston though, man, because Cleveland was up. I want to say it was 18 points at some point in the game, and they started clawing their way back into the game.
Yeah.
They started coming
Yeah.
back, coming back,
Tenacity.
coming back. They took the lead. Cleveland fought back. LeBron James balled out. What a game. He was these crazy spin moves, slams. I mean, he was doing everything, rebounds, assists, getting his teammates involved. LeBron had a monster game. And the Celtics, even with Hayward going down, they looked good, man. I know tonight they played again, but I feel like, those back-to-back nights, it's
Yeah,
tough. It's
they
tough. You know what I
lost,
mean?
but
They
yeah.
lost, but I still see Boston being one of the top teams in the East, no doubt. I mean, obviously they're going to need their other players to step up. They're going to need their rookie Tatum to step up. He's young, but he did pretty well against Cleveland. So Marcus Smart too, man. He had a good game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop him in the post. No matter who they put on him, he was frying everybody. So I still look for Boston to be number 2, Cleveland number 1. So that was my take on
That's
the
that's the
Cleveland
East.
game.
Yeah. No, it definitely changes. I actually had the Celtics in first place. And that's definitely switching now. I mean, I definitely have a different view of it now. I just think
It's
it
just
sucks,
upsetting
yeah.
because it's not like they were bad and they weren't the best team to be. It's because of injury. I hate when
it
that
reminds
happens.
me of the Spurs in the playoffs when they lost Kawhi. It was kind of
Yeah,
like
it was done. We
it
knew it
sucked
was done.
because we were seeing a team possibly. I'm not saying it was going to happen, but possibly dethrone Golden State, and then all of a sudden he goes down, and it's over.
I think it could have gone to 6 games maybe. I mean, they
even
were
if
up
it would have,
big. They were up
that's
big
what I'm
though.
saying.
They
They
would
were
have
up 20,
definitely won that
and
first game.
And the Spurs don't give up 25-point leads like that.
No.
But they ended up being a 4 and out, and that was it. But even if they would have gone a 6, it just goes to show that the difference between, at least last season, between Golden State and the Spurs was not that big. But it's just the fact that Golden State is so stacked that there's nothing else to see there. It's that simple.
Yeah, so speaking of Golden State, they played the Rockets. The Rockets won.
Close one.
Very close one. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Draymond Green.
Yeah, he was out in the fourth quarter.
Green left in the third. I think it was the third quarter.
He left in the third, so the fourth.
I honestly think Draymond's like the heart of that team. I know he doesn't get enough credit sometimes, but he kind of keeps everybody together. He gets in your face. He gets you. He's one of those guys that rallies the team.
He's the glue to that team because none of them are team leaders. KD just came in. Curry just balls out. So I think even what's the other Splash brother there?
Clay.
Clay, even him, I mean, sometimes he has some off games, but the consistency is always by Green. So having him out definitely was a toll on them, but they'll be back. I mean, they're right now in last place in the East.
Yeah, I mean,
think about it. Enjoy this, because it's the last time you're gonna see that there.
well, the West, the Warriors
in the West,
yeah.
yes. Enjoy it because it's the last time you're gonna
No,
see
I mean
that
for
there.
sure. I mean, like I said, Draymond being out. I mean, I'm not dissing the Houston Rockets, but honestly, the Rockets, they weren't really playing as a team. It was more of like isolation ball. Like, it was like, all right, James Harden, here's the ball, do your thing. Chris Paul, here's the ball, do your thing.
Exactly.
They still need to figure out how they're gonna look, how they're gonna find space on the court for everybody. Figure out what the roles are, because it honestly, like I said, it was just, hey, you take the ball, it's your turn. All right, I got us this time. So I feel like they still need to get that team chemistry. But I mean, they still look good for playing that type of ball. But again, with Draymond being out, I think if he didn't get out, I think the Warriors would have won.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it came down to the last shot. I mean,
and
literally,
it was
KD.
close. It was
and I told you KD should have taken the last shot. I told you KD should have taken the last shot, because I think KD is better in those moments than Steph Curry was. I mean, that's the reason they brought Kevin Durant to Golden State.
And that just goes to show how close it was, though. Even without Draymond, they technically would have won the game if it was just for the fingertip sticking too long to that ball. But I mean, it's pretty easy to say.
Yeah. So real quick, I also want to talk about the Miami Heat, because I'm a Heat fan, and we opened up with a loss. Honestly,
every season.
Honestly, I thought now I'm scared, because last year we started off, we were terrible, we were crap, and then it was after the All-Star break we had the best record.
Off like Golden State.
Yeah, we finished off strong. So now are we gonna do the same thing? Was this just it's the first game? You know what I mean? Like I feel like.
The thing is, what'd you guys pick up in the offseason?
Doyle rules. Olynyk. That's who we picked up. That's literally. And then we kept our main players. We re-signed Richardson and a couple others. So we didn't get any huge big time players. We kept the same nucleus, which I liked. It's good. Build on that, especially because we were so good towards the end of last season until Waiters got hurt, and then the team just fell off. We lost to the Magic. Again, I had us in fourth place. I still want to say we're going to finish fourth. It's just the first game. So I'm not, the NBA, there's 82 games. Yeah. So there's plenty of time. You had us in fifth. I believe you had us in fifth. And then you had the Raptors in fourth. I don't know. We'll go back and check them. But we lost the first game to the Magic, 116-109. I think in the fourth we had brought it to within 2, but we couldn't tie it. We couldn't take the lead, unfortunately. Is what it is. Like I said, first game. I mean, Whiteside balled. He did his thing. Another double for him as usual. What can you say about the guy?
Yeah, I mean, So that's. I mean, look. Hopefully,
and we shot. And here's another thing. We shot. But the thing is, we shot 22% from the three. I mean, that's terrible. So that, I mean, I think that definitely played a part too. Like I said, it's the first game. It's the first game. So I never count the first game. In the NBA, I need to see like the first 10 games before I start making like seeing
who is
exactly.
Looking,
it usually takes about 10 games. Exactly. So that's my take on it. We lost. Games. It is what it is. How are the San Antonio Spurs doing?
So Spurs are playing right now. They're actually up by 9 points.
Yes.
This is their home opener. I'm sorry, they're up
by 11 Spurs, go.
They're up by 11 points now. Rudy Gay is playing.
Yeah,
which is
how's he doing? How's he doing? Because I haven't been able to see his.
He's doing all right actually. He's not doing that bad. He has 10 points.
Yeah, I told you he was going to be a good he's going to be another scoring option on the court other than Kawhi and Aldridge. I think that's huge for you guys. And
coming off of the bench.
And Tony Parker, I think he's still out, I believe. Or is he back?
Yeah, no. Parker is not playing today. Actually, let me point out a couple of things here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rudy Gay and Ginobili and Patty Mills all came off the bench.
Ginobili.
Let me point you out something. Ginobili has 9 points today.
Hey,
He's played 14 minutes.
can you still believe we got to meet Ginobili?
Yeah, man, that man shook my hand. He
Yeah,
signed my
so
jerseys and shook my
it
hand.
was cool. We actually last year we went to a Wizards game. Dario,
2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
friend.
Sorry,
Yeah.
2 years ago. Man, God, we're getting old. 2 years ago, we went to a Wizards game, and
Ginobili.
we got to meet Gino. We got his autograph. I thought it was like the sickest thing. I'm not even a Spurs fan, but Dario was like a little
I
kid
was
in
a
like a candy
kindergarten
store.
dude.
I mean, it was
He
great,
was just talking
and it was
to me
awesome.
and
That was
shit. It
awesome.
was awesome.
You asked him if he was going to come back for one more year,
Yeah,
and he said, "We'll see."
Yeah,
I remember
we'll see.
that.
And he came back for 2 already.
So
my man.
That was awesome, man. That was definitely an experience I'll have for the rest of my life.
For sure. So yeah, so Spurs are winning, but they're up by 10 at the end of the third. And just to close out the rest of the games, the Wizards beat the Sixers. Unfortunately, Washington. Hey,
I have them at number 3.
They can win. That's fine, man. They're third in the East. It means nothing.
Okay, but maybe with the Hayward injury, maybe they leap up to
nothing.
2. Maybe
It's
maybe.
Fine. You know what?
Maybe.
Here's the thing.
I'm just saying maybe.
Okay, and here's what happened. When we first started the very first podcast, we had a little team called the Nationals, being the best scoring team and everything and being the exact best. And now all of a sudden the Wizards are going to be doing the same thing. And then the Nats and the Shats and the Redskins and all of them, they're the same thing.
Yeah, the Nationals lost. They're out.
Lose. It's what they do. It's a mentality. It's the Washington mentality, my friends. No worries. You know what? If you want to put the Wizards in first place with the best record in the NBA, put him there, because you know what?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I'm not even
for the
picking
fan,
them to,
That's totally
look,
fine. My
Cleveland's
point,
coming out of the East.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But just,
out of the East, forget that. I don't even know why we keep on bringing up. You know what? I think for future segments, we're just gonna cut off everything Washington. Even though I know I have a few listeners that are
because
Washington.
the Wizards are kind of exciting.
At the end of the day, they will lose.
No, but I'm not saying no, but okay, as a Wizards fan, you want to see them, grow. So maybe they'll pick up a few more wins. They'll pick up maybe a few more wins this season. Maybe they'll finish in second. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, but they got to build.
They ended up in 8th place. 2 years ago, they ended up in 5th place. Last year, they ended up in 4th place. They can move up to the moon. Is there anything better than first place? Oh, that's right, champions. They never get there. It doesn't matter where you want to put them. That's the thing. It's so crazy to talk about a team that will consistently make the playoffs. That's it. You can't count them on winning a goddamn conference game because they never get there.
No, I mean,
it's just the way it is.
They just don't have the team for it yet.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's why I want to see how they progress.
Matter.
I want to see how they progress this year.
You know what LeBron has to do? He has to pull a Jordan. Go play for the goddamn Wizards and see if Jordan can't win a goddamn ring in Wizards.
Jordan was old, man.
It doesn't matter.
Come on, man. You can't count that.
You know what? If LeBron goes to the Wizards next year, he's going to be 33, 34.
He's not going.
I'm just asking you, how old is he going to be?
Old.
Okay, 34,
like 33
or 34. How old was Jordan? How old was Jordan? 35 when he went to the Wizards?
Yes, sure. He was retired though. Jordan was retired.
And he's better.
Yes, but Jordan was already way done. Jordan was already, he was retired for like a year or two, just chilling on the couch.
It's my point. It doesn't matter what you take to that team. You want to put Curry, you want to put LeBron, you want to put KD, you want to take Kawhi. You know what? Even if they all go, if you create an all-star for the East or the West or the whole and put them in the Wizards, it's a losing mentality. It's a losing mentality. We'll just drop it off there.
Whatever,
I'll keep going for an hour.
Go
on this.
Wizards. I'm cheering for y'all. I hope y'all build on something good. I hope y'all build on something.
You know
good.
what? I'm not gonna say fuck him.
I love Bradley Beal.
Look, I actually like Beal also.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of him. I think he's a little bugger. I definitely think he's trying to prove a point to Wall, and that's why they talk about the chemistry in that team. It doesn't matter. Wall's gonna have to leave in order for there to be any chemistry, or Beal, whatever. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, look. I definitely want the Wizards to win and the Redskins to win, just because I want my discounts on my Papa John's and my pizzas and everything and such. So, go Washington.
Those are always good.
That's right.
So that wraps up our segments.
And they're not our sponsors, by the way. So Pop, if you want to sponsor our shows, we'll be more than happy. Yummy, yummy. Better ingredients.
So we're going to move on to our special segment of the day. We have our first guest on the show. So without further ado, I want to introduce everyone to Stevie. Stevie, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Steve. I'm Portuguese. I live in Maryland, America.
Good God.
How's it going?
It's good, man. Nice to have you in here. We actually have quite a few questions for you. You have quite a few teams that you're following. I definitely want to ask you a little bit, dabble into each one of your teams that you follow, that you're in love, that they're your teams. I'll let Bruno take over these questions, and I'll have some follow ups for you.
So I want to start with Manchester City just because I think you guys are having such a special season. So give me your thoughts on City because I know you're such a huge City fan.
Well, I think this is one of our best teams in our history, honestly. How we're looking, our coach, fantastic. The tactics that he's using. For example, in the Chelsea game, the score didn't completely give you the big picture of how we played. We completely destroyed them. They couldn't score, they couldn't do anything. We had 19 shots on Chelsea. Their defense is fantastic, okay? 19 shots. It's just spectacular. De Bruyne, our best player. Aguero and Jesus, fantastic. Everyone is just playing phenomenally.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I think Kevin De Bruyne is easily becoming, if not already, the best player in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's looking pretty.
I mean, you guys have so many weapons. Aguero, Jesus. I mean, you guys have the two best passers, the assisters, and David Silva and De Bruyne on that midfield. It's insane. Then you have Sane. He hits some from outside the box at times, but not Silva, my man Bubblegum. He finally got his first goal. I was so happy for him. I mean, he's going to be a special player moving forward for you guys.
How do you feel about Sterling? In this, in this greatest in this greatest city that you've seen, how do you think he fits into the picture?
I think he's fantastic. Fun fact, Sterling has as many goals as Harry Kane. Nobody's looking at that.
Very interesting.
Well, yeah, I feel like Sterling doesn't really get a lot of love as he should. I think he's definitely stepped it up this year because I think in other years he was inconsistent, I would say. But he's playing a lot better in my opinion this year. And like you said, I mean, he's got as many goals as Harry Kane, which is pretty remarkable. So because you're such a City fan, who's your all-time favorite Manchester City player?
That one has to go to Kun Aguero. He's actually brought me to becoming a City fan at first with that QPR win.
Oh,
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so would you say that was like your all-time favorite memorable game, I would say?
I think that's every City fan's most memorable game, honestly.
Yeah, that brought you guys the first title. First title, right?
It wasn't
not the first title, but like the first title in years.
In a long time.
Yeah,
it was a big drought. And look, I remember like it was yesterday seeing that Aguero goal. And then the entire stadium like chanting after they finished. It's actually one of my most memorable moments in football history, seeing the stadium and finally having City won something and seeing Aguero there, having him brought there. I thought it was very special. I'm sure it must have been similar to you.
Oh yeah, totally. And we had to get a little lucky with Liverpool choking as per usual.
Yeah, consider Liverpool the Washington of the Premier League.
No, I would actually say Arsenal is more of the Washington of the Premier League.
No, that
in recent times, look, they're exactly.
Yeah.
They used to be considered undefeatable.
Oh, that was like the Dolphins.
It's a one-time thing, exactly. But here's why I think it's more like Washington, because it used to be known as one of the best teams for years running, winning everything, and then magically they turned into the team that just happens to choke every single season.
Yeah. And now give me your thoughts on moving on from City, Portugal. Obviously we qualified for the World Cup. What do you think? How far do you think this Portugal squad can go?
Personally, if everything goes well and beautifully and perfectly, semifinals is where I see us going. I don't see us beating Germany, Brazil, Spain. They are just way too stacked. They are incredible teams.
Let me follow up with a question here. If you have the best Portugal team that you've had since ever?
I would say since
I
want to say since ever. I don't know. The
you gotta say
2006 team was great though, man. Our midfield was
Yeah.
Deku,
Fantastic.
Figu, Ronaldo.
I know.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was insane.
2006, you guys got to the semis and lost. Okay.
Yeah, by a bullshit PK from France.
Okay, then Argentina would have had 2 more World
I know,
Cups.
no,
So
I
let's
mean,
call
no,
it a
we've
day.
all been screwed over. No,
It
no,
is. I know. I completely agree. Yeah, I agree with
it
you
just
too.
sucks that this crap happens in the
Let
game.
me
but
ask you, with the best team that Portugal has, because somebody told me that since 04, Portugal has made it to more semifinals.
But we have. We have.
Let me
We
finish.
have
Then you're
turned.
saying that you're building up to this year. If every single year you've been calling that good, let me ask you something. With the best player in the world in your team, with the best keeper that you've had in years, with the best midfield and forwards that you've had, not in years, because actually, if you go back to that 06 team when you had Deco in there, that man was a monster. Okay, let me just put that in there.
Yeah, but I also
Do you
I-
think that
oh, go ahead.
you guys don't even have a chance of even? I mean, because what you're saying is if everything goes perfect, you guys won't make it to the finals. Then tell me what would have to happen for Portugal, or what else are you guys looking
I'll give
for
you
for
my
you
I'll
guys to
give you
make
my
it?
take on this, but I want to
Yeah,
hear
let
from
them
Stevie.
follow up here. What would it have to take for Portugal to finally make it to a finals?
I think Bernardo Silva would have to be phenomenal, which I think he will be. I think he will have an incredible summer of World Cup. Pep Guardiola is going to teach him some things. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player when he comes up there. Ronaldo's can't be dependent. He has to be dependent on his other players as well. He can't just be independent constantly for us, like that Sweden game when he got us in, just scoring a hat trick, outclassing Zlatan.
Yeah, that was.
But I genuinely think, and our defense has really got to step up. Very much so has to step up. That's our one problem with this team at the moment is our defense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I feel like that's our Achilles heel
The
per
defense?
se. Yes,
Always is.
we have Ely Zill on the team, man, and not to kill
He played.
not to kill him as a player. He did.
Who scored? Yeah,
I know.
just asking a question. Who scored?
I agree, but do you think would you have Ely Zill starting for Argentina?
Are you kidding me? Have you seen Argentina's defense?
No, but Acuna's
do
been
you
playing
know who's
back there.
back there?
I would take
Do
Acuna
you
as
know
my
who
left
you have
back
back
over
there?
Ely Zill.
Okay, I have to deal with Benegas of the team. I have to deal
No,
with
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay, with
because
the
he's not the
Demichelis
starter. He's
in
not
the
okay.
teams. I have to. It doesn't matter. I have to deal with all those.
Dude,
there's
Demichelis was
no
the best
thing.
defender Argentina
I
ever
will
had.
take whatever any team
Kidding.
has to offer for Argentina as a defense, because there's no such thing as it, because even when we do have some sort of decent player for a defender, we're like, nah, you know what? Leave that guy on the bench. It's just like with Acuna playing, or it was when Rojo had his hot streak
Well,
there. He started
Rojo's
playing
hurt.
and all
Rojo's hurt.
Yeah, no, but
So
even when he had
he's
his
gonna
hot
come
streak,
back.
everybody was saying, "Oh no, doubt him." And
Yeah.
that was the thing. Nobody ever supports any player, and so they put him on the bench.
It's
just it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, I agree with Stevie. I think our like he said, our defense is going to be
And another thing, when you guys won the
Euro.
mm-hmm. Who scored the goal that game?
Eder.
No one saw that coming.
I'm going to tell you something about Eder. After Eder scored that goal, I had, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people that came to talk to me about that guy that scored that goal, okay? When every single Portuguese person put both face palms in the face
I was one of the
and said yes, and said that piece of shit. That's what you're gonna put in. That's the problem that you guys forget. Those dumbasses that are experienced, that know how to put their pants on when it comes to these games. Because let's not forget this. You know who was not on the field? That's right. It was Ken. Ken was broken. His leg fell off. Okay, so it was Eder that had to come in and put on the big boy pants and carry the team and score the goal in double overtime. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, that the man did not play that game. So that's what I'm asking you. What is missing from? I know it's a defense, but what is missing from Portugal at this point? Because if you're going to have Bernard Silva, and you're going to have Cristiano, and now you don't have to deal with the Quaresmas anymore, and you don't have to deal with the Nanis anymore, which were, the horrible players, and now you have people like Eliseo who will win you a game and a pass to the World Cup. Well, I mean, what is it that you guys need to even consider? Like you said, it's a defense, but what would you put your finger on and say, you know what, if this happens, then I think I might see it there?
Squad depth. Our squad depth for certain positions is just not good. For example, our striking position. All we have is Andres Silva and Ronaldo. They're phenomenal players. We have no one to replace them. Sometimes these players will have random Nani games and random Quaresma games where they'll just all of a sudden score and everybody be like, wow, maybe they'll do well. Then comes the next game and
all hope,
all hope is lost. But I feel like our squad depth needs to improve. But for a country with only 11 million population,
that is not an excuse. Not in soccer, I'm sorry.
We're pretty phenomenal for our
Oh, okay. So for a country with 11 million people, then what do we name Uruguay? The greatest to ever exist?
No,
yeah.
but
with 3 million people and 2 World Cups under their belt, that means that every 1.5 million people, they get 1 World Cup. They have 16 Copa Americas. They're the most honored team in South America, not counting World Cups, but all the titles together. Where do you put Portugal in international titles? In Europe, is it 6th, 7th below all the big teams?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
And that's what I'm saying. So at the competitive level, they're coming up. I had made a funny reference not long ago.
This mofo, okay, this mofo said we're the Peru, okay? We are the Peru of Europe. The Peru of Europe. I was so pissed off. I was appalled when Dario had told me this.
It was a good point.
No, it was a bullshit point. It was complete and utter bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit.
I compared them side by side with where they had gotten in the World Cup and international titles. And now that you guys have one title, so then you say, "Oh my God, I'm the best of the world."
But it's
one
not that.
title,
It's
won by Cristiano. By the way, Ken was broken. They were gluing on the leg.
My man Ken was on the sidelines. He gave a beautiful halftime speech. He gave a beautiful halftime
We lost 4-0 to Germany.
Whose fault is that? Maybe Maradona didn't.
What I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
Shot of Eder.
Haters gonna hate. It is.
Right.
It was
Haters
lucky.
gonna hate.
I'm not gonna dispute that. It was definitely a lucky ass game. I mean, look at everything that had to happen for us to win. France hit post. Rui Patricio looked like Oliver Kahn from Germany.
No,
I mean, this dude was stopping everything.
He looked like Tim Howard against Argentina. That's what.
No, Belgium.
What?
Tim Howard against Belgium?
No, against Argentina.
Tim Howard didn't play against Argentina. Did he? No, I think you're thinking about Brad Guzan.
No, Guzman. No, it is
Guzan.
Yeah,
I don't think Tim Howard started. You're talking about the Copa America that came to the U.S., right?
No. I'm talking about
the Tim Howard with Belgium.
Yeah, it was the Tim Howard Belgium game where Tim Howard had like 30 saves.
Was it really?
It was against Belgium. It was against Belgium because Belgium won, and then they faced Argentina, and then you guys went to the PKs against Belgium. You guys didn't play the U.S. If you guys played the U.S.,
we didn't go to PKs with Belgium. We won 1-0. We went to PKs with Netherlands.
Netherlands. See,
yeah.
I always get them confused. I'm sorry, but it was like it was insane. And it's just the way we played all tournament. We can't play counter. I definitely think we can't be playing that counter attack BS come World Cup time. But yeah, I absolutely think we're going to. Unfortunately, but I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I expect the semifinals.
So then, if what 4 teams do you put in the semifinals since you expect them there?
Damn.
You have to count in Brazil. You have to, because Brazil's been getting crazy.
Okay.
You have to count in Germany.
It's going to be Germany, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina. Done.
So France and Spain, which you've been calling the death, or Italy, which you've been saying has been crazy.
But see, no. Italy hasn't been crazy. Spain's been crazy, but Germany. They play Spain, so they knock out Spain. You see what I'm saying?
So you're
we
waiting
need
on
a little
results.
luck. We need a little luck. Of course, my friend. Of course. It is what it is. It is what it is. But you need a little luck. You honestly need a little luck sometimes. So that's what I'm rooting for. But we'll see what happens.
All right. So that's pretty much on City and a little bit on Portugal.
I would talk about Benfica, but I feel like it's just too depressing at this point for you. Although, I mean, you guys have won 4 league titles in a row.
You got to stop somewhere.
I mean,
you can thank Porto for that. Lucho Gonzalez, the Lucho curse.
Yeah, fun fact, ever since Lucho Gonzalez left Porto, they haven't won a league title, right?
Porto has not won a single title without Lucho in 10 years, is it now?
No, I don't think it's 10 years. Is it 10 years? No, I don't think it's. I think it's less than 10 years.
The last 4 that they won, Lucho was there. The last 4 they won, Lucho
I don't remember.
Maybe it is like 8 years.
I don't think it was 10 years. Maybe 7.
It's like 7 or 8 years. Like but this year,
Sporting,
it just may be. Yeah, if Sporting managed not to screw this one up,
which they
please,
which we already have, really.
They will. They definitely will.
Mas vai para o caralho com opção de merda.
I also think that Benfica's academy really helped us out. Our players that we brought up, really helped us out as well for these titles. Like Nelson Semedo, Lindelof, Ederson, all these players really stepped up. Gonçalo Guedes, even though he left us in January, he was fantastic for us until he left. Just all these things just really helped us, and we that's everything.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with you. When you sell Lindelof, when you sell your best keeper, I think he was the best keeper in the history of Benfica keepers, really. I mean, he was phenomenal. And then you sold Nelson Semedo, who was basically your attack. I mean, let's be honest. He is what got the attack going.
He was my player of the year for us.
No, yeah. I mean, hands down. So when you lose that, I mean, of course, it's always going to be tough. Plus, you guys didn't really revamp on the defensive side of the ball, which was pretty shocking. You guys didn't bring in players.
Because again, we try to rely on our academy, and it hasn't really been working. But we'll see how it goes. We've seen some positives, but we'll see how it keeps going. This new keeper, he looked okay. This new defender, I think, is Ruben Diaz. He's looking decent, and we'll see how it goes from there, guys. And it was great to see you guys, and I hope to be back on the show sometime soon, and I'll see you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for coming. I think you did a great job in covering everything. So that's all I have on that. I don't know if Dario wanted to add anything.
No, I was just out of the teams that he mentioned. I think it's pretty good to have a positive outlook. I think that's definitely the way for teams that are always coming up. Now City's not a team that's coming up, but Benfica really needs to step it up because they got something to prove. Man City has something to prove.
I mean,
Porto has something to
but
prove.
Benfica have already proved they won 4 league titles. You know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying is they have to prove that they're still the best. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not the best.
You won 4 years
they're not
in
the
a
best
row,
right
so
now.
you got to prove that you're still that guy.
No, agora é o Sporting, meu. Agora é o Sporting. Agora somos os melhores, é o Sporting, caralho.
Look, Sporting, if they manage to not be the Redskins.
Man. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Sporting have looked abysmal on the offensive side of the ball. I know. We have looked really bad on the offensive side of the ball, but that's another segment for another day. So that pretty much does it for us today, guys. I was trying to see if we had any fan questions. We have absolutely no fan questions for today's show, unfortunately.
Our fans are here today. That's why.
Yeah. I guess it is what it is. So next week, hopefully, we have more questions coming.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to hit us up with the questions, just simply use the hashtag highly contested on Twitter, or you can just reply straight to us from the Twitter page. However you guys want to do it.
And as a last thing here, we actually wanted to do a little giveaway. Yeah, it's going to be a nice giveaway. So what we're going to do is we want you guys, by the way, Eric, the next show is next week on Wednesday at around the same time, usually 10:15, 10:30, depending on if YouTube allows us to be on time. But we're gonna do a little giveaway, which is gonna consist of you guys, the fans, are gonna send in whether it's comments, whether it's on Twitter. You guys let us know what your Super Bowl picks are. So the 2 teams that you think are going to be in the Super Bowl. Now, if you get them right, there is a little surprise that we have for you guys. And we're not going to tell you what the surprise is. But if you guys play along, let me tell you, you will not regret it. All right. So it's going to be a little giveaway that we're going to do so you guys can play along with us. And if you guys have any friends, let them know, hey, sign in and sign up, follow us, like us, tell everybody. And I'll let Bruno take if you have anything else to add to our great giveaway.
No, I mean, just that it's going to be awesome. So again, send us your Super Bowl predictions through the highly contested page on Twitter. Let us know. Like Dario was saying, we're going to go ahead and do that giveaway. That pretty much wraps it up for us, guys, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. Stevie, thank you so much for coming on. I thought it was an amazing show. Probably my favorite podcast, honestly. I think it was definitely awesome how heated we got and the Messi Ronaldo one. So going forward,
it was highly contested.
It was, hey, man, it is what it is. Highly contested, baby.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Follow us.
Take care.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Like our videos. Thank you, guys. We appreciate all the love.
Viva o Sporting, viva o Leicester, caralho.
Let's go Messi. Let's go Argentina. Let's do this.